Okay, what's up? Third time's the charm here. We're 7 minutes past 5 o'clock. I'm still oh I'm trying to figure out the streaming software. I think it's good now. Note, we'll be doing an HR tracker today or a training tracker for HR managers to track like if their staff have completed different trainings over the course of the year, and it's going to be really cool. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support and get access to all my past live videos, you can hit the join button on the stream. It'll be right up here on the channel. Join. It's $4.99 a month. $4.99. I feel like that's worth it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, stream's up. Okay, let me do a sound check. Stream's up. Okay, let me do a sound check. Sounds fine. Good. Okay, so that's up. I did the random drawing already. It was 1202 was the winner. I do the random like a random between function at the beginning of each stream. 1202 is the winner. If you want to know what your number is, you'll be in a list essentially if you've ever bought a template, and if you want to know your number, I could tell you it. It never changes, and I do this once a week for a chance to win any template at smarthelping.com. It could be the mid-level one, intermediate, upper tier, ultra. Uh, you know, I'll email you if your number came up after the stream, and you let me know which one you want for free. Okay. So this is going to be, I feel like, so I got a comment on YouTube. I'll read it out and we'll go through it. And I felt like it would be a good template that probably would help a lot of people. So I'm going to build it here on the live stream. And away we go. Um, Here's the prompt. So I have staff of 250 plus employees, and they have a training plan yearly that they have to comply with. I'll need to document the training title, whether or not they completed it, and when. Okay, so let's do a bunch of tabs here. First things first, I think, so I haven't done much work on this. I've been thinking about it a little bit, but no matter what, we're going to have some sort of data tab where data is entered about the employees. So we can probably start with the employee name, which will be sourced from a drop-down list. Let's see, what else do we need to know? Uh, Training plan. Training plan. And the reason I'm using Google Sheets in this case is because it has a lot better filter functions. And anything with data analysis, tracking, building things like that, I like to use Google Sheets. Anything with really specific, like a financial model, I'll do in Excel. And that's just the playing to the strengths of each. All right, employees, training title, whether or not they completed it and when. Okay, so training plan completed. This would be a yes, no. And then date. And who knows what we're going to get into here. We'll freeze the top row. Let's do validation. Employees. Let's say you've got, you know, however many. Could be this one's for 250, but it could be any number. Freeze this. So like ID, name one, etc. All the way down the line. Also, we want to do a little space in between. Employees, training. What are we calling that? Training plan. Uh, so like plan one, etc. What else do we need here? Title. Yes, no. That's what. Okay, so we're good. Um, Employee name. We'll just do right click the whole column, data validation, select the entire employee column A2 to A, that will automatically there we go. Now that will automatically update as the data validation changes. For example, you can see name 1, 2, and 3 here. It just lists what's there. If you expand it, let's say test 1, 2, that will now be added. So you can pick that. Also, if you start typing in here, it will start bringing up. So you see test, only what you type in will come up, which can be helpful. So names, training plans, same type of deal here, data validation, and same exact logic on that. Training plan, employee ID, or employee name. Completed, we can just do a manual one here, list of items, and yes or no on these. Data validation just helps make sure you don't have data entry errors, or it helps. And then the date, we can actually do a validation on that and define this as a date. So when you double click on it, it'll pop up a calendar like that. Okay, so that's the basic structure I think we're going to need. Format that. Let's see. Formatting on the date, probably, I like this is the best. Don't need data validation on the top row. Okay. Now, one second. Okay. So, we've got a database here. We've got a validation list. We now need to report on what's going on. And so we need a static report page. And so we'll do that right up front. Report. We could probably do report, data, and then validation. Okay. So this is where things get, you know, this is where we got to think. So how do we want to display? First of all, do we want to use a date for, like, so do we say, okay, here's a list of every employee. First of all, we'll do a sort unique function to get, and we can just use the validation on this. It'll give us a list of everybody in the validation, but it'll do it in alphabetical order, which could be useful. So this will show you every employee that's in the validation tab that you put in there. If you update it, let's go test 5444. You see now test 444 is in there. Let's say you added somebody with a name, Andy. That'll go to the top, Andy. So now we need to do some formulas and structures to report on who's completed what and when. Now I've been really stuck on, should this be something that goes through time, or should this be just for you use this for 1 year at a time. And so then it would show like all the different, and then we'd have to list all the different training plans up at the top here, and it pop in, okay, has Andy completed this or this one or this one? It'll just all automatically calculate, and that's year one, and then we list all the things again for year two, etc. I don't think that's the way. I think this workbook should be used for 1 year periods. And then what you can do is have, you'll set the main employee training tracker as a template. I'll just label this template, and you can then link um, all your workbooks. So we could probably put that in a validation. You could have a list of workbooks by year, and then just, whatever year, 2021, you can just do however many years, 30 years, honestly, if you wanted to, not a problem. Go down to what, 51 there? 50. So let's say you had 30 years worth of data. You can have a separate workbook for each year. If you need to go check anything, you just go into that link in the year, set up all the permissions with the share feature in Google Sheets, and you could manage it very easily. Link of workbook. So you use this as the master. And let's see, you can change this text as well. Everything in this shade is editable. And you can go check any year and see what the data is like, and it would bring you up the report, the data tab, everything for that workbook. Delete these extra tabs for now. Actually, we need to keep this one. So you can see how you manage it. You set up a primary template, and this works with all kinds of different uses that Google Sheets has. But list your all the workbooks by year, and you go and check each one. And you want to use the master template that has all your employee names and training plans on it, so that when you go to create a copy, that's all there, but you don't have to worry about all this other data being there because you just keep a blank template ready to go. Um, we'll talk about that more as we finish this. So for the report itself, so we're going to have to go transpose, sort, unique to get the list of training plans going that way. I think this works. Yes, it does. Okay. So any amount of training plans you have, it'll go over this way forever. I just put 4 in, but if you add more here, like let's say plan whatever up to 7, you've now got all 7 listed here. And so my goal is to make this as simple as possible because that makes it more useful to everybody, number one. And number two, it is harder to break if it's simple, and everything goes better. Obviously, modifications can be made, and it's easier to make modifications when the base template is simple. So that's what we're trying to build here. So now the question becomes, do we fill the date in here that each was completed? If it was not, does it just leave blank? Or we also need to know, what if something was just not completed for that year? So there might be a date of supposed to be completed by. Let's say it was not. Now there's a date and a no. So you could have a no or a yes. So what I think the best lookup is, we figure out based on the employee name and the plan. Um, and this, let's say employee 1 had to do plan 2. Let's say that yes, they did complete it. Employee 1, plan 6, let's say they did not complete it by whatever date, sometime in the past there. Um, so how do we report on this very elegantly is the question. And that's what we're going to try to figure out here. All right. I think so. Let's think here. I want to match the plan name and the employee with, and it'd be very easy if we just had one criteria, but we can't because you could have multiple training plans for the same employee. So we need to check match the name and the training plan to pull, and I think what we do is pull C. And that'll just give us an easy report that says completed, yes, no, by plan. Simple. So we can't just use an index match. I think we might have to use a filter. So let's look at this. Let's say if we do a filter, and normally filters are used for one line and give you a whole bunch of information about a database, but for this case, we want to filter anything in this column if anything in this column is equal to the name, and if anything in the training plan column, B2 to B, is equal to that plan name. And now that should be able to be a draggable formula. Let's lock C and A. Now A2, we just want to lock the letter because we don't want it to slide across because we want to keep checking these names. And then B is the plan and lock that up top. And then if error, then just it's going to be blank. And then we can do some conditional formatting to check. And okay, perfect, that worked. And let's say you had, in your data here, you had 200 different people with a bunch of different plans, so, possibly thousands and thousands of rows. You can go, this is only 1,000 rows, but you can go and add 1,000 more, and it will keep all the validation. So you see we're now 2,000 rows deep. So you can add as many rows as you want. I'll just keep 2,000 there for the base template. And you just track your employees. So every time somebody does something, you put their name in, what was their training plan, and was it completed? Yes, no, and what's the date? Now the date's more mainly for a record. We're not really referencing a date within our report here. Also, how many plan IDs do we want to go over? And because we're going to have to drag the formula over that far, I think maybe, what's that, 7, 8, 9, 10, 8, 9, 10. So this would be 20. Oop. And we want to make sure this is clear that, look, this will go all the way out to here and no more. So and these extra, we don't really need these extra columns. We freeze the first column. Oh, no, 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 no. Freeze one column. All right, this is actually pretty good so far. There's a lot of stuff we're going to build here. So if that's going to go over to here, we have to drag it over, and then we got to drag it down. Let's say, we'll just go for 500. I don't know how Google Sheets is going to react to doing this filter formula 500 times, however many 20 rows. It's like 10,000. Okay, we got a ref error. It's kind of it took a second, but it wasn't too bad. So here we're getting ref errors because what? Oh, got it. So ahead of this, we need to put if or A2 is blank or B2 is blank. Then just return blank. Don't even do the formula. So lock this and this here. What if or A2 or B1? My bad, B1. And then we gotta bracket that. And then we don't need the end one. Okay, make sure it still gives us, yes, perfect. Okay, so we'll drag it over that many and down 500. So this will let you report on up to 500 unique employees. And if you wanted to go more, well, you can drag it down even more if you wanted to, past row 500. Actually, technically 499 employees. But that should fit most use cases that are going to be using a template like this. All right, so That's all good. Employee names, we'll give this a little gray. Now the question is, if you had a bunch of employees here and yes, and a bunch of yes nos, it might be hard to see. So what we're going to do is do some conditional formatting on this whole set of cells. And we're going to do if it equals yes. So text is exactly yes. We want it to be good. That's a great thing. If it's a yes, that means they passed the training or did the training. So we'll do a green there. And then add another rule. If it's no, then obviously that's bad. If you didn't do something you had to do, we'll give it a little red. And then we'll add a final rule. If the cell is empty, do we want to do anything with empty? We could make it like a light yellow or something. I'm half colorblind, so it's kind of hard for me. Like a yellow. But honestly, you don't want to, you only want to really see this table for the employees and plans. You don't care about any of this blank spot. So let's actually, hold on, let's go back to the conditional formatting. Let's remove this for now. So your yeses are green, your nos are red. And here's your report. So this is pretty helpful. This is good. You can like go down the line and see, okay, person, have they completed X, Y, or Z? Um, the other thing we could do is, before we get any further, duplicate this and we can do report to and go by date and simply fill in. Now the thing with this is I guess we filter C if only C has to be yes, and then if so, then return D. Because you don't want to return a date if it says no, or else what are you doing? I mean, it's kind of not that helpful. So let's filter D in this case, and add a slice if we want to say also check if your data C2 to C equals yes. And we can do some negative filters as well. Like we can check and see who hasn't, and we're going to do a report based on that. But let me just get this on here first. And now we should see dates in here. Perfect. Only dates for yeses. And we'll drag this over and down up to 500 rows. There we go. So if you were wondering the date things were completed, let's add a title to this. Date training was completed by employee. And give this, you could kind of make that however you want. Maybe give this an underline, I guess. By the way, Google Sheets has a crazy underline. Like they make you go to format and do it. You can't just do it right here. It's very annoying. Took me a long time to figure that out. All right. So that's date training was completed by employee, and this is going to be um, training completion completed by employee. Oh, what did I just? I want A over. Now you're going to look at this, and so we can easily scale it. However many plan IDs, it'll go out to 20. It'll go down to 500 employees, and it'll tell you based on each plan, based on the data you've entered, have they completed each of the training programs or whatever they have to complete for the year. Uh, Now we also want, so let's just do a cover here. And this is the base template, but what you'll, let's make sure we didn't miss anything with the prompt. I have staff of 250 plus employees, and they have a training plan yearly that they have to comply with. I'll need to document the training title, whether or not, okay, yeah, this is perfect. Okay, so base template, we do this. We could say year, you fill in the year for the workbook so you know what year you're working on. Let's say we're in 2021. Um, I don't know how we complex we need to get with like who's filling this out, but we could just put, here's your year and manager, I guess, name, manager, if you want to put the name to know who did it. We'll just stick with Andy over here. So Andy filled this out, and 2021 was the year. Base template. Make all this a little bit bigger. Okay, and so every time you make a new template, you can change the year, change that. This is going to say, we'll just do a quick reference right here, year 2021. And we can format that by doing a little text. Shoot, custom number formats get real tricky here. Let's see. If we stick with one word, year, for year, I guess that's a better one, FY. Oh, yep, see, this is all wonky here. Come on. So we don't want a number at the beginning, and we want up to 3. Okay, that worked. Control, port. So now we can see what year it is, and that will update. If you update the cover for whatever year, that will change. So that's pretty good. This one, so conditional formatting here. Let's just put this in. As long as it's greater than 0, it's green. Otherwise, we'll just leave it blank. So now we don't care about red. We want to say text is, nope, we don't care about that. Greater than 0. Then give us a green. So everybody in green is good to go. Now I don't care about it being in here. Hold on, let's format this again. B2, B2. There we go. Now let's say, so name 2 here. Select them. Let's say they have plan 6. Now let's say they plan 2. No, we're 3. Let's try 3. And if they have, let's say they did complete it, and this date. So now you can see they completed that. Plan 3 on 9/24, and the report here says, did they complete Plan 3? Yes. So no's, if they never completed it, nothing's going to ever show up on the report 2. Report 1 will just show if they did complete it or not for the year. Now, from this, we can do a whole bunch of stuff, but this base formatting, I think, is already great for a training tracker, and I'm pretty sure anybody in HR is going to make great use of this. Okay. We got the validation. You could actually manage your workbooks by year. Data entry, we'll do data entry up top. So you got your cover, data entry, report 1 and 2. Now we can get into some fun filters. So filter 1, I don't know what it's actually going to be yet. So based on this data, what else do we want? What can we glean from this is the question. And I would say anything. So we're not going to know the negative as far as if name one or employee that has name one as their name. We don't know like how many different trainings they need to complete. We just know what they did complete or did not complete. So we can report on, so example this, we could say, okay, um, all employees that did not complete at least one training program they were required to complete. Or something, you could name it however you want. Point is, we just do a quick filter here. Or we can do our headers and just go filter. And what do I want to filter? I want to filter all the data here if this equals no. And there you have it. And then we'll just freeze up to current row. No, whoops. Freeze up to current row 3. And it's pretty simple here. All employees that did not complete at least one training program. Now we don't know if there's a training program that they didn't complete that you did not mark as no. So you have to mark it as no for it to come in here. And this will list everybody. And I guess we could sort it alphabetically, just put a sort function around that. And sort column 1. And is ascending. Don't care. Oh, hold on. Do we have to? There we go. That'll automatically sort it alphabetically. So let's say we had test 444 employee, plan 1, and they did not complete it. Now we'll go to this filter. Now test 444 is under there. Now let's say their name started with an A instead. They'll go to the top of the filters. Now they're on top. And then this will just go into as many people as you have no for the year. This will show who's on there. I guess you could also list, okay, so this is going to be um, incomplete training. And then we can do another one that says completed training. And this one, I just want to know if it says yes. Same other logic applies. So now it's going to list everyone that says yes. What you can do from here is also do count completed. And we could go, so this is cool. We could do name, one row here. We just do a sort unique, and we simply go to the back to the validation. Let's get all those because that's where your hard-coded list of people is. Here's your employee names. Count completed. So this is not looking at the count of individual types of training completed. It's just looking at the total amount of yeses. So if you know Andy here has to complete 6 different things. This will tell you how many they actually did. So we can do a count ifs in our data, count ifs C, if C is equal to yes, and this is annoying me, get this out of here. And if A is, actually we can just reference this, is equal to this. And count ifs, can we just reference yes? I'm not sure. I'm losing my mind a second. Oh wait, we only need one range. Perfect. So it's saying name 1 completed one thing, name 2 completed one thing. Is that right? Uh, First of all, this changed. Name 1 completed one thing. Yeah, there's only 2 yeses here, so that's good. That logic tracks. So count completed. Count incompleted for the year. So this is the same logic, but now we want to know if it's a no instead of a yes. And same logic there. And then we also want to know in unknown. So this is count unknown. So this is if they haven't had a yes or a no, but well, let's see, will we know that? Let's if this is just blank. I guess if you want placeholders here, like let's say we put name 1 for another one and just don't fill anything out, then or let's say they had plan 4 and we don't know if they completed it yet, so no date, which is definitely possible. Let's do, so let me count if C is blank on this one. Blank's pretty simple. We just drag that down there. So this is another great automated report we can build. Drag this down. We can do up to 500 employees, no problem. And this could easily scale to like probably after you get past like 2 to 3, maybe 4,000 employees, it's probably going to start breaking Google Sheets. But up to that is fine, and that probably covers literally 95%, 99% of businesses out there that would need this. Okay, so count completed, count incomplete, count unknown, and then you could do like a total array formula, and then just do B2 to B plus C2 to C plus D2 to D, and you get your total count automated. We can also say if A2 to A is blank, then don't return anything. To count ifs can't do arrays with that. It's okay though. It's fine. So I see employee name. I see how many training programs they completed for the year, how many they did not complete, how many they're just pending. I guess we can put this as count pending and total count. And if you were wondering, this is all from I don't even have the prompt anymore, but it was a YouTube comment. An HR manager wanted a sheet to build to track employee training, like what training programs an employee has, and they had 250 whatchamacallit, their head count was like 250 or more. What's the, why can't I think of it? Head count, um, staff, staff. So the database is pretty simple here. We first, in the validation tab, enter a unique list of all the employees and a unique list of how many training plans. This will report on up to 20 unique training plans. If you needed more, you'd have to modify the report here because it only goes out to 20. and I stopped the formula. But all you'd have to do is just drag the formulas over and down, and it would work for more if you needed more. It's not too difficult. And all this is automated. This shows all the employees, unique list of employees, and what if they've completed each plan or not, and some conditional formatting. Report 2 is going to give you the date that anything was completed, uh, and complete training. So this is a simple list of anything that's been incomplete, and we'll do freeze grid lines and do alternating colors on this. So we can go to like 500. I love Google Sheets as alternating colors. You actually can't do that. Well, Excel makes it hard to do that easily. But Google Sheets is pretty nice. So that's I always like to do data tracking stuff. Any kind of work like this that's not really a financial model, but it's it's data stuff. Google Sheets is always really good with that. Alternating colors. So incompleted training completed, count completed. I guess we could do alternating on this as well. All my formatting I like to stick to gray. Light gray, dark gray. So this shows you your count completed. That looks pretty nice. We'll give it some light grid lines too. I like the little dotted grid lines. Looks professional. So there you have that. Let's give all these that. So clear grid lines. Get down here, do this. That's cool. We'll do it on all these, sure. Now I'm gonna publish this template when I'm done with it. I'll probably be done this week because this is I'll try to add as many features as I can, but it'll probably be done this week, and it'll be a $45 one-time fee. And any HR manager that wants it can get it for that price. Now with Google Sheets, it's pretty easy. If you purchase a template, you'll have to instructions. 1, hit File, make a copy. That will give you your own editable version. 2, fill in the year for the sheet in cell B5 above. Fill in the manager name if you like. 4, fill out the validation tab with a unique list of employees and training programs. Let's put this up here for people. Yeah, because you want to do cover, then validation, fill this out. And then once it's all filled out, before you start entering data here, before you start entering data on the data tab, make a copy of your master template so you can always go back to it and make another copy for future years. Okay, so that's good. You can keep an aggregated list of the Google Sheet links to each of your tracking years by listing them on the validation tab. So if you ever need to reference them, you can go back, right? You just take a look here, whatever year you want, you've got all your data in there. So pretty simple instructions. Fill that out, fill out your data, and then the reports. All reports automatically update. Let's put this in here, B2 or B1. I'll drag this down actually. Screw it, screw it, screw it, screw it. Undo, undo, undo. Keep this like it is. You can just put this here. All right, we're making progress here. Now, I would love feedback, but there's not anybody in here right now, I don't think so. And I think the person that wants this built is probably not here. I'm gonna have to email them after this is over to see. Well, tell them it's available. Let's think. Do we want anything else? We could probably put filters on this in case you just wanted to manually go in and filter this for some reason, which you may want to. So just stack a filter on all these. What's going on, viewer? We're building here in Google Sheets, having fun. Actually, it was a comment that spurred the creation of this. And if you have any comments or anything you want to see me build, I will be happy to do that on the next stream, because right now I'm actually free for new ideas, which happens every couple months. But all right, this is actually gonna be a really good template. Anybody in HR, this is what you need, because I know you've got people that you got to track what training they've done. I've talked to my wife about this a lot actually too, and she said that yeah, almost all HR departments have to track things like if employees have completed certain things in regards to training or completing some kind of anything. And it doesn't have to be just a training plan. It could be whatever they need to do for the year, and you could have multiple things for the same employee, and that's completely fine. On these tables, everything's tracked. So just checking the stats real quick. What else do we need? Anything else here? All employees that did not complete at least one training. This is all employees that did. Now this one, hold on. So this is anybody that had a no. We need a better title for this. This all employees that. What do we want to title this? This is too long of a title for these two tabs here. And what's up, viewer? I'm taking requests, by the way. I'm pumping out this from a YouTube comment. If you've got anything you want to see me build or that you think is useful, I will. If I think it's a good idea, I will build it. Okay, so incomplete training. This is saying anything that they had at least one no in. So what do we want to say? This is, I guess, employee incompletions. It's probably better than whatever the heck I had there before. And then employee completions. Now, this is not doing a unique sort, which is important because we need, well, I guess it wouldn't matter because it'd be different training programs. But if I had, let's say, Andy here again and again, and they did plan 1 and 7, let's put a bunch of yeses in here, put the date. Now it's going to come through, even though if there's a no date, it's going to come through. This is marked as a yes. I might do a sanity checker to say, okay, have you marked anything as yes but no date? If so, return a flag or something. I'll probably do that in a bit. Okay, we got an error. So Andy, oh, did I put more than plan 1? Yeah, so I gave him, so obviously in 1 year, there is not gonna, you can't put that he completed plan 1 twice. It'd have to be plan, you'd have to label the second one plan something else in your validation of the different training plans. It might be the second portion of, it could be the second portion of the training plan, just put plan 1.1, plan 1.2, plan 1.3, whatever, so you can track it. Now, if we go over here, you can see Andy's going to show up multiple times, and that's fine because we need to see all the different things he's done. Same with incomplete. Let's say he's got no's here. Well, all the no's. We need to see every single one of them. Now, we're rocking and rolling here. And now I can see a nice table. I think I'm going to do no grid lines on this as well. And then we can just do the cool light grid line. What's going on, viewer? They're trickling in and out here. Note, I am taking requests. If you want me to do something, let me know. If it's a good idea, I'll try to build it if I think it's useful for a lot of people. This was a YouTube comment, and we're now building this one. It'll be done by the end of today. Tracking employees, training programs. Okay, just trying to make them look nice and pretty here. I don't know if that looks better or not. There we go. Yeah, that's good because you need to kind of be able to lock it in, like what was the different plans and who didn't complete what. That's perfect. Let's get rid of this. I always opt for no grid lines and better light grid line formatting over the basic. Hey, we got a third viewer in there. What's up? We are building an HR training tracker from a YouTube comment. If you guys got some good ideas, let me know. I am ready to go. Right now we're doing some grid line formatting on a lot of this. These ones are already done. These look good. Or if you have ideas on how to improve this, I'd be open to building some stuff. Okay, so this lists the date each program was completed by each person, and it's not. Now, hold on. Okay, so this week, yeah, this one can be unique because every plan has to be unique. You can't do you can't do plan 2 5 different times for the same person. You'd have to do plan 2.1 again, label it differently in the validation, but this is giving you a unique list of each plan and what employees completed what. Best practice here is probably going to be filtering this. Get a filter on here. filter. These have filters. It's always good to have these at the top in case somebody wants to just look up something specific. All right, so we got filters on all these reports. That makes sense. This makes sense. And the reason we don't want uniques on these incomplete and completed trainings is because this is not reporting by plan at the top. It's actually just reporting on each individual instance of a piece of data. Report one, report and report two are every like row or every column is a unique training plan that had to be completed. So we do, we only need one row per employee on this. Okay, this is really good. This is good. Report data. You know what? Let's give this a. Nah, we'll keep the grid lines in the raw data entry. That's fine. So this is going to be an error check. This is going to say array formula if a or C2 to C equals, I don't know if, oh, can we do an if and? We're going to have to do separate. So array if C2 to C equals yes, then 1, otherwise 0. And then do error check 2, array formula if D2 to D is greater than 0, then 1, otherwise 0. Now, what's an error? So an error would be, example, training completed, no date entered. So if this is a 1 and this is a 0, you've got an error. Also, what if you've got a date in here but didn't mark as yes or no? That's also an error. So they either both have to be 0 or both 1. Otherwise, it's an error. So how do we check that? We say, hopefully okay. Essentially, if the sum of these two equals 1, you've got an error. So perfect. We can do array formula E2 to E plus F2 to F. Now, anything that is a 1 should return an error. And let's go through that. If this equals, if this is equal to 1, that's the only time there should be an error. Anything else is fine. And then obviously you definitely want to filter this. And then I want to see, okay, what are all my ones? What have I done wrong? Well, here, okay, so see, it's fine if it's a no and a date is okay. So hold on, let's rethink this logic. So a 0 is fine. A 1 is not fine if it's a yes. Because if this has to be yes, then this should have a number. But these ones are okay because it's a no. So let's think about this. So this is yes, then 1, and then if this is greater than 0, so 1 doesn't work. What can we how can we identify if this is yes and this is blank? Or if this is blank and this is not. You see, so there's a bunch of things here. Like if I go, so that should be an error as well. Oh, so we got all kinds of things here, and this doesn't actually solve anything unless we have a yes without a date. But see, one could mean all kinds of different stuff, so we're not we're not all the way up to date here. Let's think. How can we do this? So if this equals yes, the one. How about if this equals blank? I'm getting hungry. Thank you. What if this is blank? Now what do we got? Okay, this is not an error. This is an error. Nope, so this isn't working. All right, we gotta get smart here. So this is not working. None of this is. And I want to do it with an array because it's more efficient. Problem is with arrays you can't do if and. I don't believe. Let's see. If and C2 to C equals yes and D2 to D equals blank, then 1. No, see, it just does it for 1. And you'd have to drag it down. It doesn't work. Which is a shame because it would be nice for this situation. How do we error check? How do we error check this without having to drag down a formula? Well, so we know if C2 to C equals yes, you better have a date. So if this is 1, this better be 1. So how do we easily determine that? Array formula if, like we could do if, okay. If E2, let's reference the array to E equals 1, then do if D2 to D is greater than is blank. So if E2 to E is 1, then check. If D2 to D2 is blank, that's a problem. Let's do error. Otherwise, 0. Okay, so it did identify this. Well, we have a string. We could do another one. Okay, so we caught this error correctly. This is the logic I really love doing. This is clever stuff. We caught this one. This is fine, not fine, because if this is no, there should also be a date. Otherwise, there's an error. So let's see. So let's go to our thing here. Otherwise, if E2 to E equals 0, then we're going to have to run something like E can't be, it has to be 0, 1, or blank. So if it's 0, that means it's a no. Or we could actually just say if if C2 to C equals no, then if D2 to D equals blank, then error. Otherwise, whatever, pass. Otherwise, pass. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere. Let's do ahead of this, say if A2 to A is blank, then blank. Now, we've caught error 1 and error 2, which is no date, but a thing in here. Another error is if there's a date. What if we have a date but no completion? And that's an error. So let's do another thing here, and it's going to be, so we had error. Otherwise, if, now we go if, so we just did if there's no date. Now, if D2 to D is greater than 0, and if C2 to C equals blank, then it's an error. Otherwise that, otherwise return whatever. Oh, oops. Otherwise that, that. Okay, there we go. Nope. Nope, this should be an error here. Hold on, hold on. Where's our last string here? So if D is greater than 0, which it is in row 7, then if C is blank, which it is, then error. This needs to be an error. Now, a question we might have, so let's see, what do we check that might negate that? If E2 is 1, which is not in this case, then do this. Okay, here's the problem. We can't just go to 0. We have to keep stringing this along. So if that's not, then do this one. Which is, so if D2 equals, if this is 1 and this is blank, that's an error. If not, then do if C is no and D is blank, then it's error. Otherwise, if D is greater than 0 and C is blank, then an error. And now you can do all of this. Otherwise, 0, whatever, whatever. Don't care about anything else. Oh, no, 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 no. Now what did we do? These, so I've never really done it that big of an embedded array to get something like this to work. There is a lot of logic going on here. Okay, so we checked if E is 1 and D is blank. Now E is not 1. So if E is 1, okay, check if D is blank. If it is, then error. Now if E is not 1, which is all these other zeros, check if C is 2. Or no, I mean, if C2 to C is no, and I think we're not getting this, then if D is blank, error. Yep, we're in trouble somewhere. We had it for a second. We almost had it. So I think we have to go back to this. So if E is 1, this is blank, then the error. Hmm. This is a nutcracker. And I don't know what the answer is here. Because there's so many, like, okay, error if yes and blank. Error if no and blank. Error if greater than 0 and blank. Basically 3 different things. If a yes or a no and this is blank, or if this is blank, or if this is greater than 0 and this is blank. Essentially 2 things. So what's the first one? Let's see. If array formula, if C2 to C is not blank, then 1. Let's try that. So if C is not blank, then give me a 1. So I know all these ones. If this is a 1, then this has to have a number. So now I do um, if array formula, if E2 to E equals 1, then do if D2 to D equals blank, then error. Otherwise, I don't care about it. Okay, that caught anything where C is got a number and there's no date. So no date error. No date error. Now we want to do what about so no date error. We also want to do unmerge this. No completion status error. Now what's this an error? Let's see if we can do this one. If D2 to D is greater than 0, then if C2 to C equals blank, then error. Otherwise, I don't care about it. Don't care about it. All right. And really, I could do, so I can see no date errors and actually change this to just blank. I don't care if it's 0. I can see no date errors, no completion status errors. We could also do, dang it. We could also check, instead of returning error, we could return 1. And then I could say, unfilter all this real quick. I can say equals array formula F2 to F plus G2 to G. And I could say anything that's a 1 is an error. That's a problem. There you have it. Error check. And error checking is going to be really important when using this because you're going to want to know if you have data that you think you put in, but it's showing differently. You can look at this and see what errors you might have. So we're good here. So blank's fine. That's good. Yes and blank is an error. No, that's fine. No and blank is an error. Blank and a date is an error with completion status, and then these are the dates, and then everything else is good because it's got something here and here. Now if we put all this back, no errors. And this can be called error logic. And I'm telling you, you might not think it's important, but error checking and stuff like this is huge and can save a lot of time. So that's good. One, two, all right. Uh, Anything else that we want to look at with this? We'll do error logic in red or orange. So your goal, you don't want any errors in here. Oh, look, got an error. Can I put yes and no date? Get my date right in there, no error. Let's say I put a date in, didn't hit that. Got another error. It doesn't matter about A and B. Um, Technically, if you have a completion status and a date and you didn't enter a training plan or an employee, I mean, that's probably more rare. It's more rare that you don't enter something into these because you like get the name, get in here, and then maybe you just skip one of these and you never come back to it. Technically, and if you wanted to check this, you could just look, okay, return any blank values in training or employee, and if anything has a blank in these, then this is you could just fill it in accordingly. But the data tab is your raw history. This is what you're always going to go back to figure out what's going on with your reports if your reports are not making sense to you. All right, so we got all our nice reports here, 1 and 2. Oh, now what? What happened with this? What? What is this? Hold on, what was this equal to? Oh, these are just, so I don't need to go all the way over. Man, this is really coming together. What's going on, viewer there? Hey, welcome in. Welcome in. We're building a Google Sheet thing here for HR managers to track employee training, and we're making really good progress. We just been working on error checking here the last half an hour, and I finally got a logic working with the array formulas, and this is very good. All right, so I'm just making sure this all looks copacetic. We'll put another thing in here. Make sure the data tab is cleared out before you start putting in your own data. The sheet will be available. I mean, honestly, it would be available tonight, but I'm just not going to have time to post it, but it will be available probably by tomorrow. Let's see, employee completion date, yes, no. Any incomplete trainings listed. And the goal of this really is to make it as simple as possible, make it really expandable, and really usable for literally anybody in HR that has to track if their employees have completed up to 20 different things. Literally, and it doesn't have to be training plans, but if you're trying to figure out, I got a list of people here and I got a list of things that need to be completed, this will make it very easy to track stuff, and it will even track your own data entry errors to some degree. I don't know if I want to add anything. I am taking suggestions. I'm also taking suggestions on new stuff. You can email me or message if you have any ideas on customizations to this. Anything I've done in the past, I've got over 100 models of financial models, all kinds of trackers, all kinds of stuff, or future ideas. If you guys have any future ideas, I love doing this. Like this all came from a YouTube comment last week, and I said I'm going to build it on the live stream, and it's built. This is pretty much complete, ready for shipping. Honestly, I don't think there's anything else I need to add here. Um, so that's great. Uh, let's just really walk through anything else to make this nice and clean. Base template. It can be used for up to 30 years. You can keep a link of each workbook that you've done. Now, this is designed only to handle 1 year's worth of data for up to 499 employees. And otherwise, you have to expand it. And it's not that hard to expand. It really isn't. You're just dragging formulas down and over. We automated all the labeling. So the employees are using a sort unique function. The top filters using a transpose sort unique function to take everything that's listed in here, transpose it across the top because we have to report on plans. We reported anything that's yes or no, color coded it, reported the date of anything. The thing here that I don't have is if you have no date. But I guess that'd technically be an error if you don't have a date in here, but you have marked something yes or no, then it's an error. So could you need to mark it? So that's fine. Incomplete, complete, count complete. Anything else that makes sense? I think this is really good. Like we're good here. Kind of wanted to hang around if anybody wanted to talk in the chat, but doesn't look like it. Is there a chart? Let me think. Is there a chart we could do? Let's see. Probably on the count completed. Probably here. Yes, for sure. Let's see what we can do with a visualization. So let's get all, I mean, it's really crazy if you had, let's just do 250 here. Oh, is my phone dead? No. 30%. Why did it go off? Okay. Yeah, we don't want, so we want to say if A2 equals blank to blank. That will help this a little bit. We don't want to show all of these things. If you only have like 7 employees, you don't need to see a chart of 250 slots. So blank, 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 and this an array, and that's already doing the blank. There we go. There's a chart. Now how far? Yeah, only 500. That's perfect. Bring this up here. Oh, I'm stuck. I gotta slowly move it up. Now, perfect. So this will expand as more employees come in here. You'll see more names, and it shows for each name how many they've completed, how many they've got incomplete, and their total. Now, obviously, this is going to be really hard. Let's try and do a different. Let's see. Can we go or vertical? We need to go. We definitely have to go vertical here. Yeah, like this. So vertical, and then let's just. I mean, man, it's still going to be really hard when you start to have like hundreds here. It's not really going to mean anything. Maybe we only look at. Hmm, maybe we only look at incomplete. Remove this. That might be better. So you'll have all, we can drag this down a bit. Let's say you've got all your names here, and this will update. We can do data labels on here, though. This will show you every person and how many they have, how many things are incompleted. And incomplete is going to be just based on no. It's not, so you have to put a no if something's not to show up on here. If it's just blank, it's not going to matter. If you have a thing here, if you have a name in a training plan and C and D are blank, it's not going to show up. You have to put a no for anything to show as incomplete. Now, having said that, let me try to do this. Let's say I had like 70. How's this going to look? Oh, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Let's go. Where's my validation? Let's go 250. Hmm. I need to drag it down a little bit. Maybe make the name smaller. I mean, that's actually not horrible though. So name one. Let's say let's go name one, name two. Now why is two all the way down there? One, two. Okay, no. It was just because I had other data in there. So let's say let's just put some numbers in here. Say you gotta look at 250. And let's say we're all gonna be no's. Let's say you take out some random. Our error checker's working good, so that's nice. And let's say we got, we got 8 in there a bit, 13 in there. Yeah, okay, so you can kind of see that's 13, 59. And we might need to drag this down even more. Oh, there we go, 59, 8. Now, why am I going 110? Ah, because I'm sorting. Hold on. Our sort's all weird. Because this is going off of here, which is good. We want it to go off of here because it's unique list, but our sort's all messed up. Stand by. 1 second, I'm just looking at something. Okay, so 110. Yeah, it's sorting it. So if you had real names in here, it'd be fine. You'd just do like, uh, I don't know, whatever you have. But anyway, the good thing is this works. Let's give this a title. So incomplete by employee. So you can see how many employees are having incomplete stuff happening here. And this is just kind of a visual way to see the numbers that are right here, which I like to add elegant visuals, so that's kind of cool. Make this a little bit longer. And there you have it. Names down the left. There's your bars. I mean, we could even go drag this down further. It's fine. No problem. That looks good. So scalable, visual scalable. Very good, very good. Clear all this out for now. Edit, delete values. Awesome. I mean, we are in business here. Now, let's see. Oh, we need to get our validation. I don't need to see all these. I'm curious, why was the report? Ah, yes, because it was sorting. So here's what it looks like if you had to sort down through here. Still very nice and visual. Make sure there's only 2 completed here. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, so let's clean up the validations. We don't need any of these in here. It's just for a test. And we're rocking and rolling. Now, now the chart, if you only had a couple of people, it's going to look a lot bigger, but that's fine. I mean, it does the job. You can always just drag this up if you don't want it to be that long. It depends essentially on how many employees you have. If it's just, I'm going to put this back up. If it's just 10 or 20, you could probably get away with a nice chart on the same tab or same view area. If you get into 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, you just take this thing right here and drag it down. For more, check out, we'll do our smarthelping.com link. Feel free to check out the templates. Love the support. I've been building in here since 2016. All these things from scratch. and I've got videos for everything. Now I've got live videos since January of 2021 on all the stuff I've done since then. Again, you'll get access to that if you do sign up for the member to be a member of the Smart Helping YouTube channel. It's $4.99 a month. I feel like that's a good bargain for the different types of knowledge and stuff that I talk about here. I think it's super valuable. So that's about all I have for you today. I'll be streaming. I might do some more streams if I have any other comments or ideas that look good. Otherwise, I'll probably just post the overview video of this week, and I'll have the template ready to go. But this is a great one. It turned out well. Everything kind of flowed. I didn't have to compromise on much. The reports look great. It's just, it went good. So, see you guys on the next one.